Welcome back to Inherited Dawn, a One Piece podcast. We are breaking down chapter 231 today, Hunt for the Southbird. And look, this chapter is a tale of two tones. One half is a goofy jungle adventure, but the other half ends with Luffy walking off alone into the night, promising he'll be back before dawn.
And you know exactly what that means. When Luffy goes off by himself with that look on his face, someone's world is about to be turned upside down. It's a look we've seen before, and it never bodes well for those who stand against him. It's the quiet determination that precedes a storm.
Exactly. This isn't just about stolen gold. This is about a promise and a punch that's been brewing since the moment we landed on this island, since the moment Bellamy laughed in his face. If you want to be here when we break down that inevitable, glorious punch, make sure you follow the show. It's the only way to guarantee you won't miss the fallout. Now, let's get into it, because Jaya is not playing around.
Not at all. We open with Luffy and Chopper running for their lives in the forest. It's a classic Grand Line scenario. A seemingly simple task spirals into life-threatening chaos within moments.
And they are getting chased by these absolutely massive, terrifying praying mantises, like scythes for arms, slicing trees in half just by missing them. This island's ecosystem is just built different. Oda's creature designs are always top tier, but these are something else. They're not just big, they look genuinely malicious with those sharp angles and dead eyes. It's super creepy.
It's an environment that actively repels outsiders. Chopper is screaming, Luffy is dodging, and they finally realize what's going on. It's not just random bugs. There's a southbird perched in a tree, and it seems to be orchestrating the whole attack. It's not simply a flock of birds. It's a hive mind, using the forest's inhabitants as its own personal army.
Chopper figures it out, and this is why having him on the crew is so invaluable. Anyone else would just see a weird-looking bird, but Chopper, with his ability to understand animals, he sees the intelligence there. He notices the bird is just sitting there, grinning, while these killer bugs are doing its dirty work. It's the conductor of this nightmare symphony.
It's a testament to the importance of specialized skills within a crew. Luffy is the powerhouse, but without Chopper's unique perspective, they'd be fighting blindly against an unseen enemy. The Southbird is using the mantises as its pawns, a fascinating display of interspecies command.
It really is. And it makes you wonder, is the bird doing this because it's just a jerk? Or is this a defense mechanism for the entire forest? Like this is how Jaya protects itself from outsiders.
An interesting thought. Perhaps the entire ecosystem is interconnected in a way we don't fully understand yet, with the Southbirds acting as its central nervous system, which tracks with what the other groups are experiencing. We cut back to Usopp, Sanji, and Nami, and they're hearing the same strange bird calls. The whole island is broadcasting the same warning.
And then these giant boulders start rolling towards them. Usopp, bless his heart, pulls out his goggles and thinks they're ladybug droppings. His mind immediately goes to the grossest possible conclusion, which, to be fair, is not a bad bet on a Grand Line island.
A reasonable, if disgusting, assumption on Jaya. But Nami, ever the pragmatist, corrects him. They're not droppings, they're the ladybugs themselves. 7-star ladybugs the size of small cars. The sense of scale in this arc is consistently overwhelming. Everything is bigger, more aggressive, and more dangerous than it should be.
And Sanji, of course, immediately kicks one into oblivion to protect Nami. That's our guy. Never lets a threat get near her if he can help. It's a beautiful, clean kick, too. No hesitation. He sees a threat to Nami, and the threat is just gone. The Southbird in a tree above them just laughs. It's a setup. This was a trap, plain and simple.
It's absolutely a setup. The bird lures them into a clearing and then springs the ambush. It shows a level of tactical thinking that's genuinely unsettling for a creature like this.
Even Zoro, who is off on his own, is fighting giant beetles. He's not running, of course. He's challenging them to a duel. That's so Zoro. A giant beetle appears and he's like, all right, let's do this. He's probably figuring out if he can cut it with 1 sword, 2 swords, or 3. I can just hear his internal monologue. Your carapace has a worthy hardness. Show me your strongest attack, beetle. He doesn't see a pest. He sees a worthy opponent.
It speaks to his warrior spirit. To him, everything is a potential test of his strength and skill. While everyone else is in a state of panicked survival, Zoro is in a state of focused combat. And Robin, off on her own, is also hearing a strange sound in the distance. The whole forest is alive and coordinated against them. It's not just a dangerous place, it's an intelligent, hostile environment.
Man, it's a full-on jungle war. We see Sanji's group run into a giant slug and they use salt on it, which is just classic. I love that Oda throws in these little real-world gags. It's a moment of levity in the middle of the chaos. Then Luffy almost tries to fight a swarm of poisonous bees before Chopper drags him away. Chopper is the only reason Luffy doesn't get himself killed by nature every 5 minutes.
It's a recurring dynamic. Luffy's instinct is to punch any problem regardless of its size or composition. Chopper provides the crucial voice of reason, the medical knowledge that says, perhaps engaging 1,000 venomous insects in hand-to-hand combat is not the optimal strategy.
It's a full-on assault. Fireflies, cockroaches, boars. It's like the island threw its entire Pokedex at them. And through it all, you just hear the sound of the Southbirds. That eerie, constant south, south call. It's the soundtrack to their misery. Okay, can we talk about Oda's author comment for a second? He said he rented out a whole movie theater, then admitted it was just empty because he saw a dubbed movie. That's the perfect energy for this chapter. Goofy, a little weird, and you can just picture him chuckling to himself.
It fits perfectly. The chaos in the forest has that same kind of playful but intense energy. He's creating this life or death situation for the Straw Hats, but he's having fun with it, and that fun is infectious, even when the tone is about to shift so drastically. But while all of this is happening, the mood shifts dramatically. We cut back to the Saruyama Alliance headquarters.
And it's bad. It's really, really bad. The transition is so jarring. We go from jungle hijinks to this dark, oppressive scene. We see Bellamy and his crew there. Cricket is on the ground, bleeding. They're admiring a golden statue of the Southbird they just stole. The very creature the Straw Hats are risking their lives for, Bellamy has just taken as a trophy.
It's a bitter irony. And the way they flaunt it, there's no respect for what it represents. To them, it's just gold. It's currency. They can't see the history or the dream attached to it. Cricket tells them they have no right to take the gold. This is his life's work, his family's legacy. And Sarquis just laughs at him.
That line from Sarquis, because we're stronger, we have every right. That is the entire philosophy of their crew in one sentence. It's rotten to the core. It makes my blood boil. It's the philosophy of every bully, every tyrant we've met. It's the same logic Arlong used, the same logic Crocodile used. Might makes right.
It's the exact opposite of the freedom Luffy represents. Luffy's strength is used to liberate people, to protect his friends, to enable dreams. Bellamy's strength is used to crush people, to steal from them, and to mock their dreams. This is tyranny. This is bullying. And Sarquis proves it by attacking Cricket, but Masira jumps in the way and takes the hit for him.
Masira, man. These guys are so loyal to Cricket. They are a real crew. They have a real bond. They're not just a gang like Bellamy's crew. They're a family, forged through a shared dream. They live together. They dive together. They fight for each other. And Shoju isn't going down without a fight either. He unleashes his wail of destruction, that sonic scream of his.
And it actually hurts Bellamy's crew. It shows that Shoju isn't just for show. He has power. For a moment, you think they might have a chance. It's a flicker of hope, a display of defiance that proves they are not just victims. But it's not enough.
Not against the devil fruit user. Bellamy steps up, and Cricket says it. The bane no mi. The spring fruit.
I was wondering what his power was. It makes sense now, watching him bounce around town. It sounds almost silly, but the way Oda draws it, the way Bellamy uses it, is terrifying. It's a simple power, but he's mastered it for one purpose: pure, unadulterated violence.
He just compresses himself and launches forward like a bullet, the spring sniper. As an engineer, I can appreciate the physics of it. He's turning his body into a weapon of pure kinetic energy. But as a person, it's just horrifying. And he just blasts Shoju, knocks him clean through the house and into the water. Just pure, overwhelming force.
The panels here, even just reading it, you can feel the impact. Oda is a master of conveying force. The splintering wood, Shoju flying through the air, the splash as he hits the water, it's brutal and casual. Bellamy doesn't even break a sweat. It's a display of power meant to demoralize as much as it is to injure.
And as Cricket is watching his friends get taken down, thinking about all the good times they had, Bellamy just gets on his ship and mocks him, tells him to grow up, that the Golden City was just Nolan's fantasy. The physical violence is one thing, but this is worse.
He's not just stealing the gold. He's trying to steal the dream itself. That's the real crime here. He's trying to break Cricket's spirit. He's attacking the very foundation of his identity, the romance that Cricket has dedicated his life to. It's psychological warfare.
But he can't. Cricket gets up, bloodied and beaten, lights a cigarette, and delivers one of the coldest lines in the series so far. He tells Bellamy that chickens who can't even fight for dreams shouldn't be lecturing anyone on how to be a pirate.
That's it. That's the heart of it. Bellamy thinks being a pirate is about strength and plunder. Cricket knows it's about the dream, about the romance of the search, even if you never find anything. It's a direct refutation of the entire New Age philosophy that Bellamy espouses. Cricket, in this moment, is the embodiment of the old ways, the ways of Gold Roger.
Bro, that line gave me chills. It's pure defiance. Even beaten and broken, Cricket's spirit is untouchable. He has nothing left to lose physically, so all he has is his conviction, and he throws it right in Bellamy's face. And Bellamy hears it. He turns around, and you know it's not over, but we cut away. Oda just leaves us hanging on that tension.
We go back to the forest, where the Straw Hats have finally all met back up after their respective battles with the local fauna. And of course, none of them have managed to catch a Southbird. They're all exhausted and frustrated.
They're all beat up and complaining about the bugs, and then Usopp spots one, the mastermind bird, just sitting in a tree looking down on them like a king on his throne. The very creature the Straw Hats are risking their lives for.
It's a sheer irony. This bird sent an army of giant insects after them and is now making fun of them for failing. The whole crew is ready to just obliterate this thing. They're furious. You see Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, they are all about to launch their most powerful attacks at a tiny bird. It's absolute overkill, and I am here for it.
But I don't need to be furious, I just need to be practical. Their combined rage would likely level that section of the forest and scared off the bird. It was inefficient application of resources. And it's perfect. While everyone else is screaming and ready to charge, you just calmly sprout a pair of hands on the bird and pluck it right out of the tree. Clutch. No fuss, no wasted energy, problem solved. It's so quiet and so devastatingly effective.
Its laughter was getting irritating. It was the most efficient solution. The problem is now in hand. Literally.
It was so clean. A perfect example of your power. It's not flashy like a gum-gum bazooka, but it is undeniably effective. One of my favorite moments for you so far, honestly. It's the ultimate trump card for small, annoying enemies. So they've got the bird, and now they head back, feeling like they've accomplished their mission.
And the scene they arrive to is devastating. The tonal whiplash is immense. They're returning victorious with their prize, only to find the home of their new friend has been completely annihilated. The house is destroyed. Cricket, Masira, and Shoujo are all badly beaten. The Going Merry is damaged.
The gold is gone. Nami points it out immediately. Everything they fought for, everything Cricket has been diving for 10 years, gone. Just like that. You can feel the air get sucked out of the scene. The goofy adventure is officially over.
Sanji and Chopper immediately go to help, pulling Shoujo out of the water. You see the crew's priorities. It's not about the gold, it's about the people. Their first instinct is to render aid, to care for the injured. It's a core tenet of who they are.
Luffy just walks up to Cricket and asks what happened. He's not yelling, he's not freaking out, he's just cold. He's processing. And Cricket, man, his pride. He tries to brush it off, tells Luffy not to worry about it, that they have to focus on fixing the Merry to get to the sky.
He's trying to protect their dream, even after his was just stolen. He believes their journey to Skypiea is more important than his own personal tragedy. It's a moment of incredible selflessness. He doesn't want his failure, his loss, to become a burden that prevents them from achieving their own goal.
But Usopp won't let him, and I love Usopp for this. He steps up and says it's not something to just forget about. He reminds everyone that Cricket spent 10 years of his life, ruined his health, diving every single day for that gold. He's the one who vocalizes the injustice of it all.
Usopp understands the weight of that kind of dedication. As a storyteller, a dreamer himself, he sees the romance in what Cricket was doing. He can't stand to see that effort, that life's work dismissed, even by Cricket himself. It's a moment of profound empathy from a character who often hides behind lies and fear. Here, he is speaking a powerful truth.
Exactly. It's such a powerful character moment for Usopp. He's speaking for the dreamers, but Cricket insists, saying the Saruyama alliance will fix their ship no matter what. He's still putting them first. This man has just lost everything, and his primary concern is getting them to the sky. What a guy.
And then Zoro, who has been quiet this whole time, just observing, processing, says Luffy's name, and he points to a tree. It's a very simple action, but it changes the entire course of the conversation.
The mark. Bellamy's Jolly Roger, carved in the wood. The signature of the man who did this. He didn't just rob them, he vandalized their home, leaving his mark like a dog pissing on a hydrant. He wanted them to know who did it, and Zoro knows exactly what Luffy is thinking.
He asks him, need help? That's not a question of if Luffy is going. It's an offer of support. It's the first mate checking in, understanding the captain's intent without a single word of it being spoken. The trust between them is absolute.
And Luffy just says, no. That's it. One word. And it carries so much weight. This isn't a crew matter. This isn't about saving a country like Alabasta. This is personal. Bellamy laughed in his face. He attacked a man who gave them their dream. This is Luffy's fight to finish. He's taking this responsibility on himself.
Nami tries to bring them back to reality, reminding them they only have 3 hours until the knock-up stream. She is the keeper of their schedule, the voice of logic. Her concern is valid. If they miss this window, the entire journey to Skypiea is over. The clock is ticking. This isn't a detour they can afford.
But it isn't a detour. It's part of the journey. This is what it means to be a pirate on Luffy's crew. You don't let your friends get trampled on. Luffy turns to you, Robin, and asks if you can get to Mock Town by running along the shore. He's already decided. He's going. He's just working out the logistics now.
And I tell him yes, because at this point, trying to stop him would be pointless. More than that, it would be wrong. This is an essential part of who he is. To deny him this would be to deny his very nature. My role in that moment is to provide information, not to obstruct his will.
Cricket tries to stop him, to tell him it's not worth it, but Zoro steps in. He says Cricket would need a sword to do it. It's Zoro's way of saying, let him go. This has to happen, and if you try to interfere, you're interfering with our captain's will, and I am the one who enforces that.
It's the first mate understanding his captain on a level no one else can. He's not just Luffy's swordsman, he's the guardian of his captain's will. He acts as the final barrier, ensuring that once Luffy has made a decision of this magnitude, nothing will stand in his way.
And Luffy just says, I'll be back. Walks off into the darkness. No big speech, no grand declaration, just a simple promise. He has 3 hours to find Bellamy, settle the score, and get back before they have to ride a giant geyser into the sky. The stakes could not be higher.
It's an incredible end to the chapter. All the goofy fun of the forest is gone. Now it's just a man on a mission, walking towards a confrontation that feels both inevitable and necessary. It's the culmination of everything Jaya has been about, the clash between dreams and cynical reality.
Absolutely, and that is where we leave it. What an incredible chapter, setting up what we all know is coming. If you're as hyped as I am for what's next, drop a comment and let us know what you think Bellamy's reaction is going to be when Luffy shows up on his doorstep.
I imagine it will be one of surprise, followed very quickly by regret. All right, predictions for chapter 232. What do you have, Franky?
Okay, prediction 1. We're going to see Bellamy and his crew back at the same bar from before, flashing Cricket's gold, bragging to the whole town. They'll be surrounded by the same scumbags who laughed at Luffy earlier. The scene of the crime is going to be the scene of the reckoning. It's too perfect poetically. He needs to be defeated in front of the very audience he performs for.
I like that. The symmetry is perfect. My first prediction is that when Luffy arrives, Bellamy will try to use his spring sniper on him, the same move that took out Shoju. He'll expect Luffy to be blown away, but Luffy won't even flinch. He'll just take the hit. Look at him, and Bellamy will realize in that one moment of non-reaction that he has made a terrible, fundamental miscalculation about the nature of the man in front of him.
Ooh, I love that. The ultimate no-sell. My second prediction. The fight is over in one punch. This isn't Arlong. This isn't Crocodile. Those were epic struggles for the fate of an island. This is a punk who stepped on the wrong dream. Luffy isn't going to dignify him with a full fight. It will be one clean, beautiful, cathartic punch that carries the weight of Cricket's 10 years of work and Nolan's legacy. A punch for every dreamer Bellamy ever laughed at.
That feels right. It would be a statement. My second prediction is that we'll see Blackbeard again. He's still on Jaya. He's going to see or hear the commotion from Luffy's fight, and it's going to confirm to him that Luffy's bounty is real. He'll see that flash of determination, that immense willpower. It will be a small moment, maybe just one panel of him smiling over a drink, but it will be important for what's to come. It will solidify Luffy as his target.
That's a good one, a real good one, adding another layer to the future conflicts. Okay, final prediction from me. The Saruyama alliance, with help from the rest of the Straw Hats, will get the Merry ready just as the sun starts to rise. It's going to be a race against time, with Chopper tending to the injured and Usopp and Sanji helping repair the ship. Luffy will show up at the last possible second, gold in hand, and they'll make the knockup stream with no time to spare. Maximum cinematic tension.
And my final prediction is that the people of Mock Town who laughed at Luffy before will witness this confrontation, and seeing Bellamy, the symbol of their realistic, dreamless worldview, get utterly dismantled by this dreamer will shatter their entire philosophy. It won't just be a physical victory for Luffy or a material victory for Cricket. It will be an ideological victory for the very idea of dreams on that island. The age of dreams won't be over in Mock Town.
That's a deep one. I hope you're right. That's what One Piece is all about. Not just punching bad guys, but punching bad ideas in the face. And that's all the time we have for this chapter. What a ride.
We'll see you next time when a promise is kept and a reckoning arrives before dawn.